Hi, welcome to Freezer Meals 101. I'm Christy.
And I'm Charla, and we're really excited about today. We have been planning this video actually for months.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah. We have been hearing from you that you want more videos about individual serving freezer meals. So
we probably get asked once a week easily in our Facebook group about ideas to make meals for your parents, or my dad lives alone, he doesn't really cook, what can I make for him that he can throw in the microwave, things like that. There is a big need for it. And freezer meals is the answer.
Totally. And people taking lunches and people who live on their own. There's so many reasons that single serving meals, people who've just had a surgery, or like so many things. And so the idea for today was, we have done lots of videos in the past where we do individual serving freezer meals. And this time we wanted to twist it a little bit, and we're doing them all in little loaf pans. So most of them are gonna be for the oven, because you've got your little loaf pan thing and it's all ready to go.
It's heat and eat.
Heat and eat, and it's perfect for seniors or those who are going through a hard time, because they can get rid of this after, and so there's no dishes, and it just really...
Yet, if you were the type that wants to save them and use them again, you totally can. So it goes either way, which is nice.
Yeah, and you could do these in glass container. I mean, you'd need quite a lot of them. But
yeah, or even just regular, aluminum pans or non-stick loaf pans.
Yeah. And so yes, they go in the oven, but they also, while things are still frozen, like I know for the lasagnas specifically, when they're frozen in here, you can actually pop them out while they're still frozen, and then you could microwave them. So,
see,
right? Clever.
Thinking.
So there's a little bit of versatility here, but
because I could hear people saying, "Wait a minute, my dad doesn't know how to turn the oven on."
Yes, we get that comment.
Or they live in a seniors complex.
Yes.
I mean, they get fed. My dad was in a seniors complex where he could go down and eat because he didn't have a kitchen in his unit. I'm wondering if he could have a hot plate. I don't know if he was allowed to have a microwave. But, there's different situations for different living, and that is a really good option for you.
Even if you have college-age kids and they're in the dorms and they have a microwave, I don't know if they have access to the freezer, but probably, right?
That I don't know.
I don't know.
We don't have
Tell us in the comments.
Tell me what your kids' dorm rooms are like.
If you are in college or your kids are in college, let us know about that dorm situation.
Yeah.
And, okay, in the meantime, we are going to get to these meals. We've got 3 different recipes for you today, but they're gonna make a lot of these little things. We're not exactly sure how many. We're gonna see as we go.
Well, because there's a few ways to do your freezer meals. One is to, just individually make your little meals, but in the club, you can scale it down so you could make the small size. Otherwise, you just need to make a normal size and you divvy it up.
Yeah.
And sometimes it makes 2, sometimes it makes 3, so that's why we don't know. It's not like we don't know what we're doing. It's just we are not. Freezer meals sometimes are trial and error, and that's part of the fun.
And the nice thing about, or the reason we decided to do like the loaf pan meals, is that in the other ones that we did, we had them in little containers or little bags, and that limited us a little bit in that we couldn't do anything layered. And so the recipes that we've chosen today are more along those like kind of layered lines.
Yeah.
So no matter if you are a large family or living on your own, freezer meals can work for you, and you can have so much variety and versatility.
Absolutely. Let's get to it.
Okay, so this first one that we're doing is a tater tot pizza casserole. You can find the recipe for this in the description below. It is on our website and also in our Freezer Meals 101 club. This one, the reason I chose, we have a lot of tater tot casseroles.
Yeah, we really do.
On our site, because our kids are big fans of the tater tots.
They are. Families love them. They're relatively cheap, and they're a frozen potato product. So then you can have potatoes in your freezer meals, because it's hard. You can't use fresh potatoes in your freezer meal. You have to use cooked potatoes. And so there's limited options available. And so we use this one a lot.
Yeah, and we have so many versions.
Yeah, we do.
But this is one, the reason I chose it is because on Valentine's Day, which was recently, we did like a family night and we had heart-shaped pizzas that we made. And so I had bought some pizza pepperoni and I have some left over. And if you've been watching our videos for a while, you know I don't like to waste anything. And I like to stretch the grocery budget and all the things. So that's why we're making the pizza tater tot casserole, because we've got those pepperoni slices to use up. So in our loaf pans, we're gonna lay out some tater tots at the bottom, and we're gonna mix together our tomato sauce, Italian seasoning, basil, and red pepper flakes. And we're going to put that on top of our tater tots, and then we're gonna do a layer of some pepperoni and green pepper that's been diced. Now, you could, if you want, add other pizza toppings to this, whatever you like on your pizza, mushrooms, onions, any of that kind of thing. I suppose you could do pineapple even, or ham, cubed ham.
Pineapple, that would, for the Hawaiian folks out there, you bet.
And then you're gonna do a layer of cheese. Usually we do cheddar cheese in this, but again, we're using what I have, and so I have a Tex-Mex blend, and that's what we're using. So we're gonna lay that on top, and then we're gonna cover these first with a layer of plastic wrap that goes right directly down on top, so that you don't have any air in there, because air is what causes your freezer burn when you're freezer cooking. Then we're gonna do a layer of foil, and we're gonna make sure that we write on our label that we wanna remove the plastic wrap, because we've made that mistake before.
And it melts instantly. Like,
yeah.
I've done it where I've forgotten to take it off, and you go to peel back the tin foil and it's a mess, and then it's like, how far down do you dig to try salvage this meal? So we do, if it's not actually on the label, we put a big star in a Sharpie that says remove plastic wrap.
Exactly. And then you're going to, on the day that you cook this, you can, you're gonna take the plastic wrap off, replace the foil, and you're gonna bake it at 400 for 30 to 35 minutes. If you wanted, you could do a few layers of the tater tots if you wanted to make this more of a meal for 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
For just the single
it's pretty
servings,
deep in there.
we're just gonna do the one layer. So that is our tater tot pizza casserole.
Very nice. I haven't had that one personally. I think we should make it in a big batch the next time we do our mega session.
We do have a mega session coming up.
Yeah, we do.
We've started planning for it. I know everybody asks about it. I'm gonna put a video here to our last mega session, because we did, I can't remember how many, we did over 100.
130-ish.
I can't remember, but yeah, sure.
We do over 100 every time, and if we do it every 3 months, we divide them and then we fill our freezers. We spend a lot of time in this kitchen.
Yes, we do.
And we film it all for you, and the videos are long, but people love them. Like, they are our most popular videos.
And it's a crazy 2-day marathon.
It really is.
Assembly, and we also show you like a behind the scenes sneak peek of how like insane the kitchen gets. And my mom sometimes helps with dishes, and some of our kids, like her kids and my kids, come.
They come around the can opener, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a whole family
It has
affair.
become a whole family affair. You are not kidding.
It is a thing.
Speaking of college, my son said to me, Mom, when I'm older, can I have a membership to the club, or can you keep making me meals when I go to university? He wants to be an engineer. And he's 13. And he's very good at math. He could be an engineer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I will probably still make you some meals, and you can definitely be a member in the club.
That's so cute.
It was so cute, because he's like, I don't know how else I'm going to eat. And it's true.
There is that.
There is that. This next one is meatloaf muffins, but with our twist today, we are going to put it in our loaf tin. And you might think, well, that's just meatloaf, but we are doing it in a single serving portion. So it's going to be much smaller in the meatloaf. We'll take the regular recipe and then we'll divide it up into individualized portions. It's going to cook quicker and you won't be eating meatloaf for days. So this one is a really sensible meatloaf to put together. It's some ground beef, your minced onion, your green pepper, some breadcrumbs, Italian seasoning, barbecue sauce, Worcestershire sauce, ketchup, chili sauce, an egg, some parsley, and some salt and pepper. We're going to mix it all together in a bowl and we're going to put it into our meatloaf tins. Now to cook these, because they are going to be smaller, we'll still set our oven to 400 or 425, and we're going to cook it for maybe 20 to 30 minutes. You want to make sure that that center part is cooked through, the outsides are going to cook faster. Then you can put your plastic wrap on the top and your tin foil and freeze it for when you're ready to reheat. Again, this one can be popped out and reheated in the microwave really simply.
Or if you'd rather, you can freeze this raw and then cook on the day of.
Yeah, you absolutely can. We do it all the time.
That's a preference thing. It depends on the situation. So if you are making these for a senior parent who lives in a place where they only have access to a microwave or only knows how to use a microwave, then you're going to cook them now and freeze them already cooked. So then all they're doing is reheating, and they can just pop it out and put it in the microwave. If you're doing it, if you want more of like that freshly cooked whatever, then you're gonna freeze them raw.
If you really want to get fancy, you could cook these, cut them in half, put them in a new tin, add some mashed potatoes and some green beans, and you have a reheat meal right there that can be reheated in the oven, or again, put on a plate and put in the microwave.
That's a great idea. I love that idea.
Yeah, it really is. Because I was thinking about my dad. What would he like to eat? And I mean, he would eat just the meatloaf because it was available, but I know that he would also like some mashed potatoes and some green beans with it.
Yes, and then you could use those, the trays that we use in some of our other videos.
That have the divider.
Yes. And, you know, then you're just actually making kind of a homemade TV dinner.
Totally.
Which, that's
lovely.
kind of perfect.
Yeah. I was thinking about my dad, you know.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so funny story. This morning, Christy got here, and I was telling her all excitedly that I found kumquats, which are this fruit. I'm gonna get them. Hold on. Okay, this is a kumquat. For those of you that don't know, it looks like an orange. It's little. This is kind of on the big side for a kumquat. They're usually a little bit smaller than this, but they're very hard to find where we live. Like, I can go years without seeing them, but we have kind of a newer, like, it's kind of a specialty grocery store where we live, and they've started carrying them. And I get so excited when I see them. I'm like, it feels so, I love it. Okay, but Christy, I don't think had a kumquat before. And it's a little bit unique because it is like an orange and it does have seeds in it, and you eat this whole thing. Like,
you eat it whole, like you put the whole thing in your mouth and you eat it
with the skin.
With the peel.
Yeah, and the seeds, big seeds.
Yeah.
You crunch the seeds, and I love them.
I do have to admit, it wasn't the favorite fruit I've eaten today.
Christy wasn't a fan.
I wasn't a fan. Listen, I like oranges, I like mandarins, I like orangey things.
Do you like orange peel? Like, you know how you can get chocolate covered orange peel?
No. No. In fact, last week I made bread muffins, and stupidly I thought, do you know what would give it a zip? Is if I grated a little bit of orange peel into it. And so I did. And now, every time I eat the darn muffin, I think, I should have not put the orange peel in it. I don't like marmalade. I don't, you know?
Oh, I love orange
peel. I like, no, there isn't really much I like with orange peel. I'll put it in like a drink. Do you remember when we had Negronis? when I had Italian night at Supper Club. So you take the orange peel, you cut it so it has the pith too, and a little tiny bit of the flesh. And then what you're really supposed to do is take a lighter and you light it and heat it up, and then you put it in your drink.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
And I don't remember if I did that part or not. I think I saw that later. And I made these Negronis. It's an Italian drink. And they were delicious. That was a really good use for an orange peel. A kumquat is, I am so glad that you are so excited about finding them. But you know what else she had in her fridge were golden berries, and those are those big fat orange gooseberries that are sweeter than a regular gooseberry. I grew up with gooseberries. They're very tart. Mom would make jam with them, which is amazing, but they're very tart. And so I went and had a couple of those to get the kumquat taste out of my mouth.
So the golden berries I also like.
Yeah.
But I would take this over a golden berry any day.
Isn't that funny?
So, yeah.
What does that have to do with anything?
Okay, it has nothing to do with anything. I mean, it has nothing to do with individual freezer meals, but it's food.
It's food related.
It's freezer meal adjacent.
We should look for kumquat recipes.
No, because you would hate them.
Oh, I'm not saying we have to make freezer meals for them. You have supper club coming up eventually too.
I could make kumquats too. I don't know.
So weird.
But
she's excited about the kumquats. Tell us in the comments if you are also excited about kumquats.
Okay, so when I was 16, I worked at Safeway. It's a grocery store. And I worked in the produce department. And so that's how I tried kumquats. Because when I was doing my training, they had us try different fruits so that we could answer questions about things.
Yeah.
And so they had kumquats. And that is how I tried kumquats, because I did not grow up having them. There's some other strange things that I tried then too. But like strange for me.
Sure.
Like dragon fruit and, you know, those.
Does not live up to its name.
No.
It looks so exciting to eat, and then it's kind of boring.
It's kind of bland.
It is kind of bland. Jicama. It's spelled jicama. It's with a J, but it's jicama, and it's like a celery root. It's got that crisp crunch, and it's nice in a salad. It stays crispy. It would be like the water chestnuts that we put in the buffalo chicken dip. And it's a big bulb, and you peel it. It reminds me of a celery root, but it's called jicama, and I think it's a potato-related vegetable.
I'm sure I've had them, but I don't.
Yeah.
I can't really. I'm really on a radish kick lately.
Oh, then you might like the jicama because it's got that same texture.
That's what it reminds me of.
We do need to go on a little field trip to Freshco.
Yeah, when we were discussing fruit this morning, Christy was talking to my husband about this other like grocery store that is new-ish. I don't know if it's new.
I don't know how long it's been around, but they have really good deals, and we're in this Facebook group that posts all the really good deals, and it shows up a lot. And so Freshco is close-ish to where we live, and I went there one day. I was driving by in that area. I'm not always in that area, but I thought I'm gonna check it out, and it is like international food heaven.
Yeah, so I would love it.
It's in a very international community. So of course, different stores cater to different populations. So it was like stuff that we do not see in our regular grocery store. But I bet you would find kumquats there a little more often.
I might.
Because they're tropical.
We were talking this morning about they might have like Thai. My husband can cook Thai. I don't know if you've heard that before, but yeah.
Yeah, it is good.
He's really good at cooking Thai. And so
they would maybe have lemongrass
and galangal and all that stuff.
So we're going to do a field trip. I don't know if we'll film it. They don't like us to film in grocery stores. But if we go, we'll tell you about it.
Yes, we will. Okay, I got super off track, and I'm not sure why. My brain is hard to explain sometimes. But this is going in our video about individual serving freezer meals.
Sorry, not sorry. I said that to a guy last week. He's like, you guys are very chatty. Yes, we are. Sorry, not sorry.
That's us. That's us. That's what you get when you get here. Oh, if this is your first time here, welcome.
Distracted much?
I am always distracted. Okay, but welcome. Christy's my neighbor. She lives 2 doors that way.
Mhm.
And after she moved in, we discovered that we both had been doing freezer meals for quite a while. We both liked it, and so that's when we started doing the every 3 months, doing them together. Well, the first time was like an experiment.
It was.
It's like auditioning, like seeing if this is a good person.
It is
to
a
do
little
freezer
bit.
meals
'Cause
with.
you had had up and down experiences.
Yeah.
And mine had mostly made good, but I wasn't finding anybody new to do it with.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of work to do a big batch like we do, and not everybody was super keen on doing it. Maybe I was the problem.
No,
Maybe
you
I
are
was
not
the problem.
You are not the problem.
No. So we tried it out and we did it, and it was a hit. Like,
Yeah.
it was a hit.
It was,
Yeah.
and it was so much fun and such a good way to get to know each other too.
Yeah.
You have 2 full days, so you talk a lot, and you cover a lot of ground in those 2 days.
Yeah, you do. And we've done it, well, if we do it 4 times a year over the last 11 years, that's 44 times.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of freezer meals. Whoa, we could do math because we've done over 100 meals for most of those. That math is not my strong suit, but that's a lot of freezer meals. That's thousands. Maybe?
I don't do math either.
I don't know.
Could
like
be.
11 times
44.
So 44 times over 100. That's
That's
thousands.
440.
No, it's hundreds. I'm really bad
That's
at math.
440.
It's hundreds. It's not thousands.
So,
We
we
need
have
your
to cut this
phone.
out.
We need your phone.
Oh my goodness. Are we doing this right now? on
Times
camera?
100.
So, we've 11 years. No.
No, we already figured out it's 44.
Okay.
Right.
44 times
100.
100 times 4,400
That's
meals.
what I thought. It's
We have made-
4,400. Thousands.
4,400 meals.
Or more. Because now we do
Oh,
them in
easily
between,
more. And now we do them in between.
And we give
And we
them to
always do
people.
over 100.
Yeah.
Like maybe one time we did 80. And
We
but
did 86 the first time.
yeah.
But then we got faster.
Yes. We got better at it.
Oh my goodness. We've done probably 5,000 freezer meals.
We need to put that on a shirt.
That's amazing. Okay.
We are your freezer meal experts.
Apparently.
Did you not know? I didn't know.
Apparently, we've done like 5,000.
Like, I knew we were
freezer
good at
meals.
this, but we have made 5,000 freezer meals
That's crazy. Plus all of like the appetizers and the breakfasts.
that
and
we
the-
don't count.
Yeah. Whoa. Mind blown. All because I started talking about a kumquat.
I made 11 last week because I have a friend that's sick and I wanted to give her some meals. So I made some for her, some for me. I did not check with her first, and then I discovered she was gluten-free, so then I was going through like old stock.
Yeah.
Mushroom soup's got gluten in it. Like,
Yeah,
what are you
that's
gonna
true.
do? So I went through not old stock. I mean, like from our last session, which was in November.
Yeah.
So they're not old, but I went through and kind of did a clean out and gave her stuff that she could eat because I felt bad. I should have checked first.
Yeah. Whoa. I am still blown away. 5,000
5,000
meals.
freezer meals.
Okay, so we have established 1, we cannot math, but we like
That's
calculators.
nothing new though.
And 2, we've done a lot of freezer meals.
lot of freezer
Thousands. Wow. Okay, so welcome. And we are actually going to get to this next recipe,
Thanks for hanging in there.
which is individual lasagnas.
Yeah, great idea. Great idea because the lasagna that I make, it's huge. You can make 2 9x13s of it, or I have a big roaster that's a big rectangular, and it's like, and when my friend's mom taught me how to make it, she made hers in her roaster, so that's what it fits, and it's like $40 to make that sucker.
It's huge.
It's huge, but it's awesome. So this is much more affordable and realistic.
Yes, and we're not feeding an army. I mean, I have a large family, so I'm always feeding an army, but today we are not feeding an army.
Yeah.
We are feeding, like, these would be great for individual lunches.
Your grandma and
for-
grandpa,
Yeah.
somebody
For
who's sick.
someone who lives on their own. Anyone who lives on their own. These are awesome. Okay, so we're going to take our ground beef that has already been cooked up. So we did that in our prep. And we're going to mix that with some minced onion, spaghetti sauce, salt, pepper, basil, some fresh parsley. We're using fresh basil today because, again, I had some left over from the Valentine's party because we put fresh basil on our pizzas that night. So, and then some Italian seasoning. So we're gonna mix all of that together in a big bowl. And in another bowl, we're gonna mix together our cottage cheese, ricotta cheese, Parmesan cheese, pepper, salt, a little bit more parsley, and eggs, plural, 2. So we're gonna put a thin layer of that meat sauce in our individual loaf pans, and then we're gonna put half of a noodle. So we've got the oven ready lasagna noodles, and we're gonna break each one in half. And so we're gonna put that down, and then we're gonna put some sliced mozzarella cheese on top of that, and then your cottage cheese mixture, your meat mixture, and then another layer with the, you know, your lasagna noodle again. And then, you know, if you know how to make lasagna, it's a layered process, right? So you're gonna do, and then the sliced cheese again, and then the cheese mixture, and then the meat mixture, and then at the end, you're gonna sprinkle some shredded mozzarella. So not the slices anymore, some shredded. And then you're going to cover this with some plastic wrap again so that there's no air. So your plastic wrap's gonna go right on top of that cheese. And then you're going to cover it with foil. So on the day that you go to cook these, what you're gonna do is you are going to take your plastic wrap off, and then if you want to cook them with the foil on top, you're going to remove the foil towards the end of cooking just to make sure that that cheese on top cooks, but they can be cooked, you know, uncovered, covered, whatever.
I'll give you a tip. Sometimes I have trouble with the cheese sticking to the foil, and so I spray it with cooking spray.
Yes, that totally,
or you can kind of tint it a bit, but I've also seen people cut a little square of parchment and stick it right there. And that's something you might be even able to do, cut it when you're making it so that it's already there. You just replace it before cooking when you take your plastic wrap off.
So we're just going to cook these on the day of for about an hour if you're cooking from frozen. Now, if they're already thawed, you might be able to reduce that to 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. You'll obviously know when the lasagna is cooked in the middle. Now, if you wanted these to be able to cook in the microwave, then what you're gonna do is you're gonna cook them on the day you make them for about 40 minutes. So they won't be cooked all the way through, but they'll be close to cooked. Then you're gonna freeze them. That way they could be popped out and put on a microwave safe dish and microwaved for like 8 to 10 minutes. And then you could eat them that way. So if you were taking these to work, for example, and you've just got a microwave there, then you would want to cook these and then cool them and then freeze them. And then, you know, then they would be available to reheat. So. Yeah. Okay, so this is gonna make us quite a lot, as you can see, of individual serving meals because they are layered. Mm-hmm. And because you're browning your beef and you're you know, doing some of this prep work and stuff.
There's a bit of work.
This is not the fastest freezer meals we've ever done by any stretch. Like this is a half day thing that you're undertaking if you want to do these.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with the prep.
Yeah.
And not that the prep took a tremendous amount of time, but the layering and the mixing of the meatloaf, like. Yeah, this is some time intensive
This is an
stuff.
afternoon.
This is an afternoon, but so worth it.
And there's lots of nice variety here, which I also like.
Yep.
So you're getting quite a lot of meals, a lot of variety. And if you want to just kick this up a little bit to give even more variety, what I would suggest doing is making a big pot of soup that is cooking on the stove while you're making the rest of this.
Yeah.
And it can just be simmering over there while you're assembling all of these. And then you can put the soup into individual, like the medium-sized freezer bags, and just portion it out, and it can be all ready. Now, not all soup needs to be cooked ahead, but we are making a dill pickle soup soon. And for that one, because it has potatoes in it, it does need to be cooked ahead. So we also have this red lentil cauliflower curry thing.
That one is cooked ahead as well, and
it cooks up in the slow cooker.
My goodness, is it good. And then it's just a simple reheat. It's super easy and really delicious.
Yeah, so if you're going to go to all this trouble, maybe do some kind of a vegetarian or super healthy like soup. That's, it's
going to round it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that sounds good.
These are a little bit on the heavy side.
Yeah.
And I think that would, whoever you are gifting these to, or if you're making them for yourself, I think that would really round it out. And we have a ton of soup recipes, like really
we do.
Good soup recipes.
We have really good soup recipes.
So you can check below for the links. So we were able to make 15 individual meals.
Out of 3 regular sized meals, basically.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty awesome.
It is. They all look delicious. They're healthy. They're all from scratch.
I think the one that I would make a comment on is that the lasagnas ended up being larger than we had anticipated. I think if we had got like little teeny tiny little mini loaf pans, then it would have made a true individual lasagna. These ones, I would say, are more for 2 people or 2 servings.
Yeah, when you cut it, I guess it depends on your appetite and depends who you're feeding and how willing they are to eat leftovers, because there might be like 2 days of leftovers. And that's a common comment from people who live alone, is they get tired of eating the same thing every day, or they don't have the interest in cooking, because how do you cook for one person? It is difficult. So this one would be, I agree with you. If this one was in a little bit smaller container, and then we could make more of them. And, you could argue that you could do the same thing with the meatloaf. It could be a little, but it's split perfectly into the 4, and it's a nice size. It is really good.
And the meatloaf is actually from a meatloaf muffins recipe that we have, and that actually is a great option for very individual sizes.
Yeah, and you could even take out 2 if you're feeling like you need to, right?
Yes, so if you want to cook the meatloaf in the muffin tin, then that's another way that you can very easily have individual size. Kids love the little meatloaf muffins.
They do.
But they're fun for adults too. So.
They are. And this provides some very serious variety.
Yes.
There's 2 beef dishes, but that's okay. When you are doing freezer cooking, you also kind of want to group your stuff. It makes it a little bit cheaper. If you're going to buy, the mozzarella cheese, it's nice if you can use it in more than one place, for example.
We purposely chose that for the green pepper this time because I was debating which meatloaf recipe to use. We have a really good barbecue meatloaf that has like a barbecue sauce for on top. And I was debating between using that or the meatloaf muffins recipe, but meatloaf muffins recipe had the green pepper in it, which we were also using for the tater tots. Yeah. And if you're going to cut half a green pepper, you might as well cut a whole green pepper.
Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. And if you had also done a soup along with this, like we had talked about, which behind the scenes we did.
Yes,
and
we did.
You'll get that in another video coming soon to a YouTube near you.
So thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to put a video right there of some other individual serving freezer meals. Those ones are quite different, but I think between this and that, you'll get an idea of just how versatile individual freezer meals can be. It is so much more fun when you join us when we do this cooking, so we really appreciate that you're using your time to spend a little bit of that with us.
And it's fun to do freezer meals with a friend.
Yes,
way
so
more
much
fun
more
to do meals with a friend. So
much more
grab
fun.
your friend, make some meals, and bless those people in your lives that could use a few extras.
Happy cooking.